Hello to all the dear companions of the Deep Dive channel. I'm the Captain, and welcome to another Deep Dive. Imagine you're the most powerful man on Earth. A man who forged the largest contiguous empire in history. From the shores of the Pacific to the heart of Europe, the mere mention of your name makes the world tremble. You have conquered the world. Now, in the final moments of your life, what would you command? What would be your final wish? A magnificent tomb like the pyramids of Egypt? A golden city named after you? Genghis Khan, this most powerful of men, asked for just one thing: to be forgotten. He ordered that his final resting place remain a secret forever, an absolute secret. By the end of this video, we'll travel together into the heart of Mongolia to understand why, after 800 years of searching and with all our modern technology, Genghis Khan's tomb remains a secret. And the answer will surprise you. This isn't just a history lesson, it's a deep dive into the very soul of a nation. Let's weigh anchor and begin our journey with the Great Khan's final command. The year is 1227 AD. Genghis Khan dies at the peak of his power. His loyal soldiers prepare his body for a long and bloody journey back to his birthplace in Mongolia. But this is no ordinary funeral procession. This is the beginning of the greatest cover-up operation in history. The mental images left behind from those days are like a horrifying epic film. The mourning caravan moves in silence across the endless Mongolian plains. And according to the Khan's will, every living thing that crosses their path, from human to animal, is killed. Why? Because this secret must have no witnesses. When they reach their destination, an unmarked grave is dug. The soldiers who took part in building the tomb are, upon completion of their work, massacred by another group of soldiers. And then, those executioners are killed by a third group, to erase the very last traces. Legends say that after filling the grave, they stampeded 1,000 horses over the site to leave no sign of disturbed earth. Some even say they diverted the course of a river to flow over the grave, hiding it forever beneath the water. This wasn't a simple request for anonymity. This was a sacred taboo, a command sealed with the blood of thousands. But why? Why would a man who spent his entire life building an immortal name choose such absolute disappearance in his final moments? This is the first open loop that engages our minds, and its answer is hidden at the end of this journey. Centuries passed. The Mongol Empire collapsed, but the tomb's secret remained untouched. Until, in the modern era, the fever to find this treasure ignited again. Everyone imagined that Genghis Khan's tomb was filled with gold, jewels, and unparalleled spoils of war gathered from across Asia and Europe. Another version of Tutankhamun's tomb, but on a much grander scale. In the late 20th century, the first foreign exploration teams, equipped with the most advanced technology of their time, entered Mongolia. Japanese and American archaeologists, armed with satellite imagery, ground-penetrating radar, and geophysical techniques, began searching the most likely location, the sacred mountain of Burkhan Khaldun in the Khenti province. This area, known in ancient times as the Ich Korig or the Great Taboo, was Genghis Khan's birthplace, and entry was forbidden to the public. The explorers began their work with excitement. They discovered hundreds of ancient pits and structures, but every time they got close to a major discovery, something strange would happen. Either the Mongolian government would suddenly revoke their permits, or they would face intense resistance from the local people. It was as if an invisible force was protecting this secret. And this is where our story reaches its great turn. The moment we realize the main problem isn't finding the tomb. The problem is understanding its true meaning. All this time, we've been asking the wrong question. The question isn't, where is Genghis Khan's tomb? The real question is, why don't the Mongolian people want it to be found? For the Western world, this tomb is an archaeological treasure, a scientific puzzle that must be solved. But for the people of Mongolia, it's the sacred resting place of the father of the nation. For them, Genghis Khan is not just a conqueror. He is the founder of their national identity, the one who united the scattered tribes and built the world's largest empire. His will for his grave to remain hidden is a sacred command, passed down from generation to generation for 800 years. To disturb that tomb is like disrespecting the spirit of their greatest national hero. This isn't a superstitious fear. It's a deep cultural respect. In Mongolian culture, when a person dies, their soul must be left in peace. Exhuming a grave is the greatest insult to that soul. They point to the story of Tamerlane's curse. When Soviet archaeologists opened Tamerlane's tomb in Samarkand in 1941, just a few days later, Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union, starting one of the bloodiest wars in history. For the people of that region, this was no coincidence. It was the consequence of awakening the spirit of a great conqueror. Now let's bring this back to our own lives. Imagine your grandfather's last will was that a private, personal letter from him should never be read. Now, after years, a researcher comes along and says that for the advancement of family historical science, we must open that letter. What would you feel? This is precisely the feeling the people of Mongolia have towards Genghis Khan's tomb. So the real mystery isn't technical or geographical, it's cultural and spiritual. Mongolian society has, as a whole, decided to honor this final wish. That is why, even with technology that can see beneath the ground without digging, there is no serious, official effort by the Mongolians themselves to find this place. And this brings us to the climax of the story, and the final answer. Perhaps our entire image of this treasure has been wrong. We have always been searching for a tomb full of gold, but Genghis Khan was a man of the steppes. In Mongolian tradition, great leaders were often buried in a simple, unmarked grave to return to nature. Maybe Genghis Khan's tomb isn't what we imagine at all. Perhaps it's just a simple, small chamber in the heart of the earth. And this is where we reach a greater truth. The real treasure of Genghis Khan is not the golden jewels inside his grave. His real treasure is Mongolia itself, the empire he built, the laws he established, and the identity he gave to a nation. His true tomb is in the heart of every single Mongolian. So perhaps Genghis Khan didn't want to disappear. He just wanted to remind us that the greatest tombs aren't built of stone and gold, but of ideas, of culture, and of a nation's love for its history. His secret isn't buried under the earth. It's hidden in the vast blue sky of Mongolia. Thank you for joining me on this deep and respectful dive. You're the bravest crew a captain could ask for. We love you guys, folks. If this journey made you think, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next adventure. And now, a question for you. In your opinion, do we, as modern humans, have the right to disrespect the sacred wishes and beliefs of the past to satisfy our scientific curiosity? Where is the line between science and respect? Write your deepest thoughts for us in the comments. Maybe the next time you hear a story about lost treasure, you'll remember that sometimes the greatest treasure is the secret itself, which must remain hidden forever. Until next time, farewell.